Welcome to the IP2 podcast. Today we have a quick discussion surrounding some judge calls found on stream. Felix, did you get a chance to watch the stream today?
So it depends on who's asking because today's a work day. Are you my boss?
Last time I checked, no, I'm not your boss.
So I managed to catch a little bit of it, although I truly was working. How about you?
I wasn't able to watch any of it today. I wasn't at my desk today.
But one thing I was doing was following the progress of our teammates and our friends from Alberta, especially the new live blogging or live standing feature that they have on the website is incredibly anxiety inducing because I can track the records of my friends and who they're up against. That's way too much information. Were you doing that today?
I was doing a lot of refreshing. I found it super exciting to scroll through the pairings and see what big names were matched up against who, and like you said, who our friends were matched up. Adrian got a couple of tough rounds today, but I thought it was really good. I even tweeted out to the Fab Twitter account saying how much I really enjoyed this, so I hope they keep it going forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we do have two of our friends still live in today too, Andrew and Adam. I think they're next to each other in the standings as well, with 4 wins apiece, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be cheering for them really hard to make a good run tomorrow and yeah, survive another round of draft and more CC rounds.
All right. Yeah, let's get into the crux of this episode. There were some really neat interactions that you found on the stream today. So you want to give me a little lowdown on the first one?
Yeah, so really interesting, and I do want to give a shout out to the table judge Fred, who was there for both of these very interesting calls. And the first one had to do with Fleetfoot Sandals and targeting a spider's bite, which had been done and dusted on a previous chain link. So Fleetfoot Sandals is leg equipment that reads attack reaction, destroy Fleetfoot Sandals as the cost. Target attack with 1 or less base attack gains go again. And this became relevant when the assassin player played sneak attack. And sneak attack is an attack action that says if you've played or activated an attack reaction this chain link, sneak attack has +4 power. And what happened was the assassin player attacked with Spider's Bite, then attacked with Sneak Attack for 1. The opponent, I believe, just blocked with 1 card for a value of 2. And then the assassin player activated Fleetfoot Sandals, targeting the Spider's Bite that was on the previous chain link. The Sneak Attack saw that there was an attack reaction that was played or activated this chain link, and then Sneak Attack gained the +4, which closed out the game. So this resulted in a quick judge call or judge confirmation, and that closed out the game.
That's a really cool interaction. Can you kind of tell me why Fleetfoot Sandals can target Spider's Bite?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and that goes into what a legal target is to begin with. So Fleetfoot Sandals is looking for a target attack with 1 or less base power. It does not say target attack with 1 or less base power, this chain link. It's looking for any attack. Spider's Bite is an attack that still exists in the arena and is thus a valid target. And just to be a little bit pedantic, the arena includes the combat chain. It also includes the arms, chest, head, leg slot. It includes the hero as well and weapon, which is the reason why your Oasis Respite can target a hero, but on the other hand, it can't target an arsenal because an arsenal is not part of the arena, nor is their hand, but the hero is, the combat chain is, etc. Have you ever done anything like this in any of your games, Shea?
No, not even close. That's way too creative for me, I think. I've maybe done our next example, dominating an arrow with an empty deck from Azalea. On stream, the Player had 4 cards in his hand, I believe, and he activated the barbed castaway pitching to it, and then he loaded an arrow. The way Azalea's ability works is you can pay 0, put her ability on the stack, and your opponent has a chance to respond to it, and once they don't, you can resolve that layer, and you look at her card as one effect, but you need to sequence basically each sentence one at a time. And in this instance, it's put a card from your arsenal after we loaded the arrow. So you put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck, and then if you do, you can put the top card of your deck face up into your arsenal, and then that arrow gains dominate. So in this case, he put the arrow from his arsenal into his deck, and now that becomes the top of his deck. Then he gets to Azalea, or Azalea's in and gets dominate, and he's able to play it out like that. So it's a super niche interaction, but it's a very cool, very heads up play again from the player.
Yeah, that was really cool to watch. And again, Fred was the one that was at the table for that one, so we got to witness the 2 interesting calls that resulted in questions to the judge. Do you like getting those kinds of...
I do. Stuff like this, like, again, playing something familiar like Azalea, I do like looking at those interactions, reading the rules, and figuring out the interaction if it is possible to do something like this. And in the video, if you watch it, the player that does the Azalea activation, he does it very fast. I think that's part of what makes it a little bit confusing to his opponent. It's like, what just happened? Why does this arrow all of a sudden have dominate?
Yeah, what a play. And it just really excites me as a judge when we see these cool interactions that the game system allows for. And it really reminds me of a pretty cool interaction that happens more in a CC environment. And it's a little bit niche. I'm not sure if it's playable, but we call it the singing Steelblade Pummel. And Shea, I would love it if you walked us through this one, because it reminds me so much of what we saw with the Fleetfoot Sandals earlier.
Yeah, we discovered this. Like, I think a bunch of us, it was new for us when we were testing for Worlds. One of our testing partners, players' friends, was playing Dorinthia, and he was running the Josh Lau deck that had Command and Conquer, and he ended up with a full hand, and he was able to play Dawnblade with Go Again. Then with the Go Again from Dawnblade, he played Command and Conquer. Don't remember who it was at the time, but they blocked with cards from their hand against the Command and Conquer, and Travis played a Singing Steelblade from his hand, triggering Reprise because opponent blocked from hand on the Command and Conquer, and just like the Fleetfoot Sandals, Singing Steelblade was able to target a previous chain link. The Reprise triggered because cards were defended from hand. So you read the rest of the Singing Steelblade, you're allowed to search for any attack reaction card in your deck. It doesn't necessarily have to be a warrior attack reaction. So he went and found a Pummel, and he was able to play the Pummel on the Command and Conquer.
That is quite a bamboozling. I think I was there when he played it the first time. I could not believe it.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. It requires like 6 pitch, 5 cards, whatever. It's completely ridiculous. But it was really amazing to discover that and really drill down and see if it worked that way.
And it just reminds me of how many assumptions we make when we read a card. When I see Singing Steelblade right now, it doesn't restrict you to this chain link for the target, but Reprise does check this chain link, so it seems a little bit, I don't want to say obvious, it seems doable once you truly understand what the limitations are and aren't on that card. It's incredible.
Absolutely, and I think one of the key things about learning or figuring out little interactions like this is really reading the card through and understanding windows and non-restrictions that cards might give you these availabilities, instead of just assuming we think we know what the card does because we've been playing it for 6 months, but we've never really actually read it, because you just do the same thing over and over. Like, you go find an Iron Song response, typical play. But in this case, he was able to find something better. I think we'll conclude this short episode. Thanks for joining us. You can follow us at Twitter at IP2Podcast, on Mastodon, IP2Podcast at wraith.social. You can also find us on YouTube at IP2Podcast. I'm your host, Shea Ashby, with
I'm Felix Chung. Thank you so much for joining us. It could be because this is a short video. We don't need. I'm thinking we can just start like the tier list, just straight into it. I don't know. I don't know how this shit works, right?